Hi, and welcome to another episode of Conversation with a Chef. I'm Jo Rittey, and I love sharing with you the conversations I get to have with talented and passionate chefs. It's the backstory, if you will, to the food they're putting up. I begin today by acknowledging the Wurundjeri people of the Kulin Nation, traditional custodians of the lands and airwaves where this conversation takes place. Land which was never ceded. Land where communities came together to eat seasonally, locally, and without exhausting resources. I pay my respects to their elders past, present, and rising. Today I'm talking to executive chef Oliver Hughes at Henrietta. Henrietta is the shiny new kid on the block in Windsor. And when I say shiny, it really is. The fit out is all glorious, rich blues and sparkling silver accents. Owners Ibi Mubada and George Farah opened their first Middle Eastern charcoal chicken restaurant and takeaway in Surrey Hills in 2020, and now Melbourne gets to share the goodness. The chicken's butterflied and brined overnight, then rubbed in spices and cooked over charcoal so that it's super juicy. It's then served with pita bread, pickled vegetables, harissa and toom, so you can put together your own delicious wrap. I was invited to lunch today at Henrietta and I had the best time. Of course, I was keen to chat to Ollie, but I thought that might happen another day. As luck would have it, he was free while I was there. Good timing, given he's returning to Sydney tomorrow. Ollie moved to Australia from the northwest of England in 2017, and he's been in kitchens since he was 15 years old. He loves the pace of the kitchen and thrives under pressure, while at the same time being a big advocate for a positive mindset and having fun in the kitchen. Because I was a little bit unprepared for the chat, we sort of look, it starts halfway through. Well, it doesn't start halfway through, but it does start a little bit halfway through a sentence. So bear with me. You'll feel like you're actually there.
It's been a stressful week.
Okay, yeah. Well,
Yeah.
so that's what I wondered, because you are based in Sydney, and that's where you first came when you came to Australia. And so you're going to move to Melbourne?
No.
No.
So once I'm done here, well, when I say done, like when the kitchen's at a point, you know, when I kind of don't need to be here, I go back to Sydney, and then we're opening up another Henrietta in Parramatta.
Okay.
First week in November.
Yeah.
So whole process over again.
Yeah, wow.
Yeah.
And so I'm not really starting from the beginning here, but I was really interested because I saw that you're really interested in Asian food.
Yeah.
But now you're cooking Levantine Middle Eastern.
Yeah.
How's that?
I mean, if you'd asked me 2 years ago if I thought I'd be cooking Middle Eastern Lebanese food, I would have said no chance.
Yeah.
So obviously Eska, the company, we have I think 8 or 9 restaurants, with 3 cafes at the time.
Okay.
Which I was running, and then COVID and stuff happened. Cafes kind of harder to make money, so they transitioned to restaurants. Ibi and George approached me and said, "Hey, I know you haven't done it before, but how do you fancy taking the lead at Henrietta?" Just thought, why not?
Yeah.
A few late nights watching YouTube videos. Yeah, stuff like that. Kind of, you know, just came in at Henrietta, Surrey Hills. Took maybe 6 months, you know, just getting in there, seeing how things are. Obviously, we've got some great chefs in the company already. Paul Farah, who's possibly one of the best chefs in the country at the moment with Middle Eastern food.
Wow.
So having people, and then there's Luca and Norbert, you know, having those guys to kind of work with, see what they're doing, kind of helped me out a lot. But yeah, I mean, like I say, modern day things. I've a lot of videos on YouTube of little old ladies in Lebanon making stuff the traditional way. So I just kind of found my feet that way.
And are the flavours that you've been drawn to in the past? I mean, in terms of eating?
Nah, so where I'm from in England, outside of Manchester, there's not much in the terms of Middle Eastern food.
Yeah, right.
When I came over to Sydney was the first time, like not trying Middle Eastern food, but the first time kind of like trying Lebanese style food was the restaurant we've got Noor. So in terms of flavours, it's stuff that I've been involved with, but not directly. So you kind of like subconsciously familiarise yourself with it through the restaurants that are also in the group. So it's kind of had a head start that way.
And in terms of being executive chef,
Yeah.
that's a big title.
Yeah, yeah.
And how different is that? So you've been head chef before?
Yeah. So I came into the company just as a chef. So I came for a head chef position, but it had already been taken.
Okay.
But I really liked the company and the chat that I had with Ibby, so I agreed to come in as a chef.
Yeah.
The head chef at the time, it was his first head chef position, and he couldn't handle the pressure. So
Okay.
I think it was a transition of about 4 weeks before I became the head chef.
Had you been head chef before?
Yeah. But I only started doing cafes when I came to Australia. So I came to Melbourne. I was here for maybe a year, and then it got to winter, and I was like, I've come from the north of England.
Yeah. You don't need this.
I don't need to be de-icing my car anymore. So I made the move to Sydney.
You don't live in Melbourne for the weather, but
Yeah.
there's lots of other things. Like,
Yeah.
no, but I understand. So you went to Sydney, okay, and then and it's interesting. Is there cafe culture in England now? I'm just thinking it's such a big thing here and in New Zealand.
No. I was surprised. So I went back for the first time in 7 years last year.
Yeah.
And even going to Manchester and stuff, the cafes don't open till 8 o'clock in the morning, and it's still kind of like your full English breakfast, or
Like greasy spoon kind of thing.
Yeah. If you're really lucky, you might get an eggs Benedict or something. But there's really not much of a cafe culture in England.
Because I remember being over there and I think there was a New Zealand run cafe, Flat White or something in London, and that was good coffee. And it's the same in New York. You kind of have to go to Australian or New Zealand cafes to get actually like what we think of as good coffee. That's fascinating.
Yeah.
So now that step then up from head chef to executive chef, like how does that? Is that a mental shift? I mean, you're obviously still on the pan, so.
I mean, it was kind of a natural transition to me. So it was lucky because we had Cuckoo Calais, Surrey Hills, Cuckoo Calais, Newtown. Newtown kind of ran itself, and then the head chef there left. So it was just kind of like I'd just do the same thing I was doing in Surrey Hills in Newtown, and then I started to put my staff in there. What I kind of didn't realise at first was the amount of paperwork and back of house stuff that came with it. So obviously, the role of an executive is kind of any single chef role, you just put all those together. So like I still need to be in the kitchen just to make sure things are, because obviously if it's not me, it's not my standards. Like you have your head chefs, but they have a different standard to what you might have. Or if something goes wrong, it's on me. So at the moment, obviously with opening a place, it's kind of different. So it's kind of a bit more hands-on, full-on, get the kitchen set up ready. But once I leave from here, I'll kind of be overseeing 3 places. So that'll probably look more like paperwork a couple of days a week, making sure wages are right, rosters, cogs, stuff like that, and then spending a day in each place, just kind of keeping an eye on things.
Yeah. Do you still, I think it's really wise for chefs to have that other, to move to a position where they're not on their feet all the day and doing all that, but there's still that love of cooking.
Oh, still, yeah.
So you'd still want to be doing all that as well.
And I think I enjoy it more now because I'm not, when something becomes routine and you're in the same place and you're doing the same thing over and over and over, naturally you start to get a little bit bored of it. But with this role, after 2 days in the office staring at a computer, I am more than ready to jump back in the kitchen and be on the pans, be on the past, the charcoal, anything. So it's kind of like it's almost helped, my passion for cooking a little bit more, not being in the kitchen 5 days a week.
Yeah, that makes sense. What is it about cooking that you love?
I think all chefs secretly love the pressure. I think it's something that a lot of chefs complain about, but if you don't have that pressure in your life, it's kind of a bit boring.
Yeah.
So you kind of feed off, if you look in the kitchen, if you've had a quiet night, you'll see all the chefs are kind of low energy, no one can be bothered to do anything. If you've been absolutely slammed that night, everyone's at the end, smiles on the faces, drinks, let's go out. I think really chefs love the pressure.
And is that also about maybe having a sense of achievement and satisfaction? Like that's a huge challenge to be really slammed and it's all busy, but you made it happen and you fed people and people were happy. And it's kind of, and then it really builds like a team morale.
you've had a busy night, everyone's worked together, and you kind of come out at the other end and you realise how much you've learned from that busy night, and then, like I say, it almost becomes like an addiction of having those busy nights.
Yeah.
It's a real fulfilling job if you enjoy it. Like, you've got your social aspect, you know, you're feeding people, and when you see a full restaurant of people smiling, you know, because they've enjoyed the food you've cooked. Again, it's you know, it's a bit of a rush that you find hard to fill in other places. Yeah.
I've just finished watching the second season of The Bear about a chef in Chicago. Do you know that TV show?
It's on my list to watch.
It's amazing. And apparently the actor did do cooking classes, so he's got real burns and cuts and things.
Yeah.
But it really shows that pressure and that pressured situation, and how I guess if anyone's not quite right in their head, it can become very fractured.
Yeah.
But I guess as a leader, you would have to make sure that your whole team was on board with the upness of that experience. Like you're saying, it's a great experience to be really slammed. Do you have to be aware of everyone else in the kitchen as well?
You do, and I really try, like, if there's one thing that I feel I'm good at is bringing a positive energy to the kitchen. I think it's very easy for some chefs to get caught up with the negative, and at the end of the day, like, if someone's coming to work for you and they're coming in that kitchen 10, 12 hours a day and they're giving their everything, but they do something wrong, you can't be mad at that person. Like, it's, you know, it really hurts morale in the kitchen. So, like, I think me having a positive mindset and me not being fazed or, you know, getting really angry by stuff, it passes down. You know, if I feel if people become scared to make a mistake, then they perhaps won't try as hard because they're scared of that mistake. You know, we all make mistakes. I make mistakes. It happens. But I think a positive mindset and, like, you know, really having fun in the kitchen helps a lot.
Yeah.
It really helps.
Yeah. No, that sounds right.
Yeah.
And where did it all start for you? I read in your bio that you started at 15.
So I was raised by a single mother who was working as a nurse, working night shifts. So I took on the role of occasionally cooking food for me, my mum and my sister at probably 12, 13.
Wow.
It just used to be kind of like a jar curry sauce, cooking the chicken, putting the sauce in and cooking rice. And then that kind of, you know, led my mind to think, oh, what if I put this in? What if I put that in? And then I just kind of fell in love with cooking from that point. I thought I was going to play rugby professionally early on, and then had a bad accident with my leg.
Yeah.
So I broke my leg, dislocated my ankle, and shattered my knee in the same goal.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that was early on. That was probably about 15, 16, but I was already working in pubs at that time, kind of to make some money, washing dishes, waiting tables, helping out in the kitchen. So after I recovered from my injury, kind of the only thing I had left was working in the pub. And then I just kind of naturally transitioned into the kitchen. It seemed to be the place where I was, like, the most comfortable, and I just kind of worked on my way up from there.
Did you have any mentors or chefs that stand out?
No, I kind of taught myself.
Wow. Okay.
Pretty much. So I worked in a tapas restaurant in England, but that was kind of the owner. He was a great guy, but he wanted to be sit at the bar and kind of drink. So I just kind of watched what people did and learn and figure it out myself. I spent a few years of figuring stuff out myself, and then I went to work in another pub where I was just kind of like a chef there for a few years. The head chef didn't really want to teach anyone anything. Head chef and the owner fell out. Head chef left, and then it was like, can you just do it until we find someone else? And I was like, okay. And just kind of taught myself.
And at that stage, were you, I mean, you taught yourself and you watched and you learned, were you also then looking at YouTube and social media or whatever, or books? Or
a lot of cookbooks, a lot of videos, a lot of cooking programs, a lot of, you know, just kind of like subconscious learning almost. You know, to be honest, it's kind of a regret of mine not going and working for somebody, you know, underneath someone and getting, like, the real training. So one thing, if I could go back with my career, is something I'd do. But it's never held me back, which is good.
Well, you've obviously got a curiosity as well, and you
Yeah.
want to do, the best that you can and really find out about the food you're cooking and so on.
Yeah.
Was a culture shock coming to, apart from the cold here, but was it coming to Australia?
I think the good thing about being a chef is like no matter where you go in the world, it's always like quite a multicultural place to be. So I guess it wasn't a culture shock. I mean, the heat was a shock, that's for sure. Coming to Sydney in summer, working in a kitchen when it's like 35 degrees and humid, that was a shock. But culture shock wise, not really. The cafes were kind of hard to adjust to with the early mornings.
Yeah.
But like kitchens, no matter where you are in the world, kind of the same, which is good.
Yeah. It is good.
Yeah.
And so it sounds like you've had lots of different experiences, and across these two countries anyway. What would your advice be to someone who was thinking about becoming a chef?
Only do it if you really love it. Otherwise, you'll end up hating it. I think there's two kind of chefs, and some chefs hate their job. The people that where you see the memes of like a chef comes to work, cooks all this fancy food, and then goes home and eats beans on toast. I still love cooking at home.
What do you cook at home?
I cook all kinds of things at home. It depends who I'm cooking for. If I cook for myself, I try to eat healthy.
Yeah.
But I think my advice for anyone is you have to be 100% about being a chef, because it's not a job, it's a lifestyle.
Yeah.
Like it's something that'll take your whole life away. It's going to affect your friends, your family. You're not going to see people that much.
Yeah.
So you have to love it, or you'll end up hating it.
Yeah. Can you still be surprised by food, by flavors, or by dishes?
Oh yeah. Especially transitioning into Middle Eastern Lebanese food was. I'm trying to think of, for instance, kibenaya, which is a Lebanese lamb tartare. So again, watching YouTube videos, you see little old ladies with like a big rolling pin, and they're just slamming the meat. So you make it into kind of like, it looks like bubble gum, like a paste. And I was like, it was something that if you're not familiar with it, you're kind of like, is that going to be nice? Mixing with spices, and I tried it. I was like, this is really good. It's like one of the best things I think I'd made flavor-wise.
Wow. And yours has 13 different herbs in it, is that right?
It's a huge spice mixture.
Yeah.
So it's called kamune, they call it in Lebanon. A lot of different spices. But it was something that I was amazed by with the flavor and the texture of blending raw meat into a paste. And
right.
It was something that was unusual, but it was very surprising how.
And the charcoal chicken is so delicious. So you obviously marinate that, do you? And then butterfly it.
Yeah. So we buy them in. Kind of like Portuguese cod, but they take the spine out, flatten them out, and then we brine it overnight.
Yeah.
Yeah. So brining it obviously lowers the cooking time, breaks down some of the protein, so it's it really retains all the moisture. And we stick a load of herbs and spices in there, which kind of like the flavour really penetrates through the meat. And then we put it on the sticks, let that hang for 12 hours to almost air dry it in the cool room, and then cook it over a couple of different charcoals.
Yeah, it was so succulent and tasty, and it was just such a great combination with the pickled veggies and the toum and the harissa. It was really delicious.
Yeah, it's taken a lot of work, a lot of different brines, a lot of trial and error to really get that chicken to where it is.
Yeah, well, I spoke to a chef a couple of months ago who's at a place in Richmond called Way Good. His name's Brad Cunningham, and he worked for Yotham Ottolenghi in London. Yeah. And so he's doing sort of Middle Eastern style flavours as well, but he actually mentioned Henrietta as opening, and he said,
nice.
like it sound. And I was like, when he said that, I was like, right, I've got to keep my ears out. So so it's great to have been able to eat here today, and so lovely to talk to you. Thank you.
Same to you. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for listening to this episode of Conversation with a Chef with Ollie Hughes at Henrietta. You can check out all the goodness on Instagram at henrietta.chicken. If you liked what you heard and you want to hear more stories from other chefs, I'm on Instagram at Conversation with a Chef. You can read the chat and become a subscriber at www.conversationwithachef.com. I would absolutely love it if you told a friend about my chats, and of course you can follow me on Apple and Spotify podcasts. Once again, thanks for listening and have a great day.